Welcome to windy Bermuda. We just got in from Toronto. It's about 20 knots of wind blowing here today. It's 20 degrees Celsius, kind of a beautiful day. Prior to every flight and on every turnaround, we do an external inspection of the aircraft. So I'm going to do a walk around on the airplane right now. It's a cursory check to make sure we haven't hit any birds or there's no mechanical issues with the airplane. So we'll start at the front of the airplane here. We check our pitot tubes. Nothing's plugged. Static ports are clear. The nose cone is still attached there. No cracks in our landing lights. Check the condition and wear of our tires. The nose wheel looks in good shape, no leaks. We continue back here. We can have a look at the main landing gear, condition of the tires, brake wear indicators. Brake wear indicators are fine, and there's no leaks on the right main gear. We'll have a quick look at the front of the engine, checking for anything on the intake. Fan section's turning due to the high wind here in Bermuda, but the intake looks nice and clear. Coming around to the back of the engine, the blocker doors are stowed, and the engine looks fine. We'll follow the wing out. We'll check the leading edge of the wing. We didn't see any birds on the way in, but that doesn't mean that we didn't go through some. And this wing looks fine. The winglet's in good shape. General condition of the wing panels. Once again, the back of the tires on the right side. Wear indicators are good. Tire condition is good. We'll continue on to the back of the airplane. A little noisy back here due to the APU operation. Leading edge of the stabilizer looks good. And basically, the left side is a repeat of the right side. Tire wear and condition looks good. Brake wear indicators are adequate. Hydraulic lines look good. There's no leaks on this one. The right main gear or the left main gear looks good. Back of the number one engine, same thing. Blocker doors are stowed. Engine looks good back here. Getting some fuel for the trip on the way home to Toronto. The winglet on this side is good. The leading edge of the airplane looks fine. We'll have a look at the front of the number one engine. Once again, fan section's turning due to the high wind here on the ground in Bermuda. The intake looks fine. And just a general check of the aircraft, no fluids coming out of the bottom of the airplane anywhere. So I'd say the airplane's in great shape for our return back to Toronto. Welcome to Air Canada 943. We're doing the return portion of the Bermuda flight. We got in here about 40 minutes ago. External inspection of the airplane was done. The airplane's in very good shape for the flight home. We've got some gas. We checked our fuel figures. We have the new flight plan. Jeff and I have both reviewed the flight plan and the current NOTAMs for the flight home. There's no factors impacting our departure from Bermuda or the arrival to Toronto. Toronto's overcast with a little bit of light rain. Matter of fact, they've come up with the final load figures already. The boarding is in progress as we speak, and Jeff and I just finished the cross-check of the flight instruments.
And I'll give you a read back to consolidate the routing when you're ready.
Ready.
Air Canada 943 departing Bermuda for Toronto off runway 12. Bovik, Lima 461 to Merrick, direct Berg, Lima 454 JFK, jet 63 Huguenot, direct Binghamton, Charlie Foxtrot Bravo, jet 95 to Buffalo. And then we pick up the arrival over Ling. It's the youth arrival onto 6 left in Toronto.
That's all correct.
I've entered all the applicable winds and data into the page.
Excellent.
Bermuda and Bermuda.
Sure.
I'll copy the active flight plan into the secondary. I'm on page B.
Okay.
0.2 for the taxi, 0 for the route reserve, and 0.9 for the final fit.
0.2, yes.
Let's consolidate our load final data if you'd like.
Sure.
943 on the 10th at fin 257, operational flight plan 1 with load sequence 1. A total passenger count to go. However, when we get it, it'll be a 0 fuel weight MAC of 31.0 and 47.3 on the initial estimated 0 fuel weight. That's down 0.6 tons from plan.
Okay.
Takes us to 56.3 tons.
Initial flight plan was for 56.9.
Okay, excellent. Okay.
120, 120, 125. No shift, it's flaps 1, reflects at 59. And on a VNAP Bravo, 1,020 feet all the way across. Clean speed of 198.
Okay, your green dot speed, initial climb 198 with a reasonable cruise. And Toronto, 978 miles away.
That checks. Bermuda ground, it's Air Canada 943 in position 5 for the clearance to Toronto.
Air Canada 943, read ground, you're clear to Toronto asphalt. On departure, fly runway heading radar vector Bovik. Climb and maintain flight level 250. Expect 38010 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 128.5, squawk 7155. Air Canada 943, push and start, pilot's discretion.
Push and start, pilot discretion, Air Canada 943.
Flight deck to ground, brakes are off, we're ready for pushback, standing by engine start until advised.
Sir, commence and push, clear to start, your discretion, sir.
Starting engines 2 and 1 in the push. Once again with the clearance to push, we'll be pushing back, starting engines on the pushback. I'll be starting engine 2.
Okay.
We have a normal start on engine 2. I'm starting engine 1.
Bermuda ground, Air Canada 943, ready for taxi.
Air Canada 943, taxi, taxiway Tango Bravo Golf, runway 12 in 05015, QNH 1021.
1021, we'll taxi Tango Bravo Golf for runway 12, Air Canada 943. Happy with that?
Tango Bravo Golf.
Golf will take us right,
down
to,
at the end,
right to the button at 12.
Excellent, that sounds good. It is a quiet day. Can you do me a favor, Peter? Just call her in the back and see if she's finished with the demo, and then we'll complete the checks.
I'm off ATC.
My ATC.
Hi, how are you doing with your demo? All done, perfect, thank you. She's all finished.
That's excellent.
When we get the word, Jeff, it'll be 120, 120, 125. We're going to fly that runway heading. We're cleared to 250. Right seat takeoff on runway 12, crosswind from the left.
Excellent. I'm set. If you're set, you can let them know.
And Bermuda Tower, it's Air Canada 943 holding short. We're ready.
Air Canada 943, we tower, line up and wait.
Line up and wait 12 for Air Canada 943, and request from Air Canada 943, any chance of a right turnout on this departure today?
That sounds like that.
I think there's some no-flies here.
Air Canada 943, the right turn is approved, and New York, well, as soon as you're airborne, they'll give you the right turn, just off the shoreline. And Air Canada 943, runway 12, wind 05014, cleared for takeoff.
Wind 050 at 14, cleared for takeoff, runway 12, Air Canada 943. Appreciate that, thank you.
You're welcome.
Your brakes, Peter, you have control.
I
We're
have
cleared
control.
for takeoff, and it's center airborne.
All set?
All set.
Here we go. There's a manual Flex 59 SRS auto thrust.
$100. V1, rotate. Positive rate, you're up.
Runway track.
Have a good flight. Enjoy your tour.
Thrust climb, open climb, auto thrust.
New York Air Canada 943, checking in airborne off runway 12, climbing 1.6 for 250, requesting the right turn.
Air Canada 943, that's approved as requested. Right turn's approved. Zurich Bolvik, 1 Amo.
Right turn, Air Canada's 943, just confirm 180 to heading.
Air Canada 943. Airframe 6822, flight level 330 will be your final due to traffic.
That's good, thank you.
Thompson 088, flight level 350 will be your final due to traffic.
Thompson 088,
Speedbird 33 November, flight level 360 will be your final.
33 November.
Iberia 6341. Radar contact 8 miles east of wings. Say shield estimate, please.
Half to Bolvik. I'll just hold the climb rate there for now.
Estimating shield is 1800, Iberia 6341. Did you copy?
No, say again.
Iberia 6341, estimating shield at 1800.
Okay, Iberia 6341, you're cutting out, you're barely readable. Just wait 2 minutes and then call me back.
Waiting for 2 minutes, Iberia 6341.
Oh, we might even get a look at the airport there.
Air Canada 943, roger. For now, climb, maintain flight level 360.
360, Air Canada's 943.
360 set.
Complete position. What position you want?
So on departure from Bermuda,
Iberia
it's
6123.
pretty much a reverse of our inbound. We're going to be with New York Center here now on a VHF frequency. Very shortly approaching Bovic, they'll switch us over for a short sector on HF. Jeff's going to check in, give our position report, and our assigned Mach speed across the ocean. And approaching New York City, we'll be back onto VHF with New York Center. There's 10 going up, Jeff.
Roger, are you okay with seatbelts?
Signs are good. We had a pretty good ride on the way in. So on departure out of Bermuda, in an effort to do a little sightseeing, we requested a right turnout, which is a little bit of a non-standard departure. Generally off runway 12, they turn you left. Standard departure is a left turn to get you heading northwest. We requested a right turn just so we could try and get a look at the island of Bermuda and some of the nice turquoise water around there. They were quite happy to comply with the request, and I'm sure we're not the first ones to do it. I'm sure we won't be the last because it's a pretty place. So they were very kindly obliged us, and we made a right turn. I reduced our vertical speed in the climb a little bit to try and take advantage. There was a cloud layer just below us, but I think we actually ended up with a nice look at the airport environment and part of the island.
No,
that was a pretty good turn.
It was really good.
We're out 1 minute early.
1 minute early. And we'll be arriving in Toronto 15 minutes early.
Wow. Okay, good.
Okay, Peter, looked like an on-time departure, 1 minute early.
Air
We're
Canada
arriving
943, say
15 minutes early into Toronto, and just stand by. I'm going to talk to air traffic control. Air Canada 943 estimating Bovic at 1751.
Thank you.
On departure, through about 10,000 feet, our dispatcher, who's on top of things, sent us a data link indicating that Hamilton, which was one of our initial alternates, is now unusable due to weather. So we've had to revise our alternate into Toronto, and it'll now be Buffalo that we're utilizing as an alternate, should it be required.
Okay, understood. Okay, just before we leave VHF coverage here, Jeff, I pulled up the latest with Hamilton going down. There's the latest Toronto dew point and temperature snugged up at 4 degrees. It's now 2 miles. That 300 overcast was 300 broken when we left Bermuda there, so it's coming down a little bit there, but it's still flyable.
What we'll do is we'll just monitor that, and we'll see what the plan is, and if we start to run into traffic metering issues in Toronto, we'll take another look at that fuel and determine if we have to make an alternate plan as well.
Sounds good. I've also got the Toronto and Buffalo forecast coming here now. So.
Very good.
New York, good afternoon, Air Canada 943.
Air Canada 943 near center, stay altitude and distance from Merritt.
Air Canada 943 maintaining flight level 380, and we are 36 miles from Merrick.
Air Canada 943, radar contact.
Thank you. We're just coming up overhead New York. We're still topping this weather system that runs pretty much all the way down the east coast today, the eastern seaboard. A little bit of light turbulence at this altitude, but not too bad so far. Our routing today is going to bring us in overhead Buffalo. The Toronto weather is 300 feet overcast, 3 miles visibility. They're using the ILS to runway 6 left, which is a Category 3 capable runway. Jeff and I have been reviewing the low visibility approach requirements for that runway, and we know what we can fly down to as far as limits go on that runway. We're going to check for an updated forecast here shortly, make sure that that Buffalo alternate is holding up. The fuel's good right now. We're holding steady at 3.5 since we left, so that gives us 1.6 extra. So we've got a little bit to play with.
Yeah.
But I don't think Toronto's going to be an issue. Temp and dew point are snugged up at 4, but the visibility is staying up right now. So I think we'll be okay on the approach going into Toronto. In another 10 minutes, we'll pull up the coordinates so we can start programming the airplane for the arrival that we're planning.
Sounds perfect.
So the low visibility approach requirements, that chart is kept in our QRH normals. We've paired off some information which is used on a regular basis, but we don't consider it to be of a critical nature. We still operate with a full QRH for the airplane, but this is contained in our QRH normals. So we had a look at the low visibility approach requirements for runway 6 left in Toronto. Reported visibility right now is actually 3 miles, so that's a way up here. It actually hasn't gotten down into the range yet that is required, but the way we like to work this is we will, based on the runway lighting that's available, the approach capability that we can use down there. Jeff and I are very much on the same page on this, is we calculate what's the lowest we can fly to. So today it's not an issue because 6 left in Toronto is a Category 3 capable runway. But there are cases where you would get to a case where the weather dropped, say, as you were on a base leg or downwind, and that's kind of a bad time to be scrambling to say, what can we do, what can we do? So we like to work this chart, almost reverse engineer the chart to say, what can we fly down to? And that way we have a hard number in mind. If the weather drops below that, we know we can't do that approach. We have to think about something else based on our fuel requirements. So right now it's greater than 2 miles. It's actually 3 miles. On the left side of the chart, charted visibility, well, if we're going to fly a Category 1 approach today, it's 2,600 or 1/2 mile. So that's right down here. That gives us capability to do, well, just about everything here. Category D, ILS Cat 1. RVR is controlling if it's being reported. Visibility is 3 miles right now. It says here, autopilot and flight director used to AOM limits. The captain must fly the approach, consider auto land, we talked about that. And the crew is Cat 2 qualified. We're both qualified on the airplane. The lighting requirements are met. Max crosswind can be 15 knots. So we can take that right down to Cat 1, Cat 2, and in the unlikely event it goes down, we're Cat 3 capable. The airplane's capable. There's no malfunction systems on the airplane that are going to give us an in-off on the Cat 3. And Jeff and I are both trained. Anything to add to that?
No, that's it. In this case, for the Category 1, we'd be good based on the lighting in Toronto on runway 6 left. The guidance for the lighting systems is on the back of the chart. We consolidate the data to make sure we meet the limitations for that runway, which is runway 6 left. And this chart will allow us to ensure that we have the lighting classification. In other words, for runway 6 left, we have high intensity runway lighting, center lighting, an approach lighting system that is a high intensity of nature, and as well, it has the RVR requirements. So runway 6 left in Toronto is 9,697 feet of runway, and it's applicable for operations down to and including Category 3. So like Peter and I said, in this case where we looked at the latest environmentals, they indicated a ceiling of 300 feet, a visibility that's not restrictive at all yet, but we're prepared now for the case that should the visibility reduce, we can safely and with confidence continue the approach that we've planned for down to that limitation before we have to consider intensifying the approach to a Category 2 or a Category 3. As soon as we get the new weather, I'll program the approach for Peter, and then he can go ahead and brief me on his intentions.
Okay. A little bit of a unique situation here today too. Jeff, of course, is captain qualified on our Airbus. I'm a right seat qualified captain on the Airbus as well. So push comes to shove, I could fly the category approach from the right seat right down to Category 3. Were this a training scenario with a training captain in the left seat, that's why my license allows me to do that. I can operate from the right seat with full capability.
Air traffic control just gave us an intermediate step from our cruising altitude, which is presently 380. For metering purposes through their airspace, they'd like us to cross Binghamton VOR at flight level 340. What we did in terms of guidance to the automation, we placed flight level 340 as a constraint. That's represented in terms of our requirement to descend to meet that restriction by this white arrow. So what Peter will do as we approach the white arrow, he'll allow the aircraft the capability to initiate our descent out of flight level 380, and it will meet that restriction of flight level 340 on its own due to the automation at Binghamton.
So I'll give you the briefing.
Go ahead.
From chart 10-2 Papa, effective 30th September 04, that's a use to arrival. For all those runways there, today we believe we're going to be using runway 6 left. The high sectors, both quadrants to the east off the Toronto VOR at 3,100 feet. Our routing today is via Buffalo. After Buffalo, it's going to be Easton. We're going to cross Ling. The expect.
12802.
Canada 943, Cleveland Center, roger.
Okay, Jeff, I'll pick it up where I left off. The restraint at Ling 10,000, jet aircraft 250 knots is in there. From there, it's Youth to Verco. Setlow's a downwind termination waypoint. We're going to cross that at or above 3,000, a max of 200 knots. We'll be in the manual heading on 237 after that. From there, I'm anticipating vectors around to the front course. ILS 6 left in Toronto. That chart is 11-2, 31st July 08. Localizer, India Juliet Sierra 109.1, final approach course 057 degrees. We're going to cross VEPN on the glide slope at 1,840 feet down to 735 on the barometric altimeter. No adjustment required for temperature today. Call me 100 above and minimums. I'll respond land or go around flaps. In the event of a go around, it says climb to 1100 on a track of 057, right climbing turn to 090 heading, intercept the track 070 to the Oshawa NDB at 3,100 feet, unless of course the tower tells us to do something else. The high sector on that arrivals off the Toronto VOR, both quadrants to the east at 3,100 feet. Charted visibility for the arrival today, 2,600 or 1/2 mile. Right now it's 2.5 miles.
I'll call you 100 above and minimums.
We'll fly it as a coupled approach. Manual landing. Going to use low on the auto brake, and it'll be config full. Exit strategy for the runway, Jeff, 6 left with low auto brake. I would say Charlie 3 looks good. If we happen to slow down before that and make Charlie 1, then we'll do that. Otherwise, Charlie 3 is good for our arrival.
Okay, sounds good, Peter. You maintain control of the aircraft unless I state otherwise.
Okay.
Once we've exited the runway, probably as you say in Charlie 3, I'll take control of the aircraft by stating I have control. We'll discuss the situation with ground, get a clearance in. I'll call for the lights and after landing. At that point, if we have the time, we'll consider a single engine taxi. The gate is 178. We'll say goodbye to our passengers.
Okay, sounds good. The airplane's turning in an hour. We just checked that. And I'll try and establish the APU for you as soon as we can, and then you decide what you want to do with the airplane.
Sounds absolutely perfect. I have no questions.
Questions, suggestions? We're good? All right. We're in a preliminary descent here.
Good afternoon, folks, from the flight deck. Your captain speaking. Just a brief moment of your time to update our status inbound to Toronto. We're presently 175 miles to the southeast of Toronto. Present time in Toronto, 2:26 in the afternoon. With weather reported as overcast skies, winds out of the east 10 miles an hour, temperature is 4 degrees. Ideally, we found the smoothest air in the northeastern section of the United States for now. I do apologize for the ride. There's a significant system moving up the eastern seaboard at this time. Touching down in Toronto will be at 3 o'clock. We'll have you on the gate at approximately 3:05. We'll be about 10 minutes early onto the gate. The gate's 178. I'd like to thank you for choosing Air Canada for your travel plans today. We do hope you've enjoyed the flight, and we hope to see you again in the near future.
There was a runway change. Our anticipated runway 6 left is not available. Now they're telling us the 6 right, so Jeff just had to reprogram the arrival and the active runway. So Ling is 10,250 knots. The routing from there is Youth, Verco, Setlow, at or above 3,200 knots, manual leg on the 237 heading. So the arrival's the same. And from there, when you're ready, Jeff?
Okay, I'll just tell you the latest altimeter is 2979 inches before.
29797.
And cross-check.
Thank you. This will be the vectors for the ILS to 6 right in Toronto, 31st July 11.
Descent across Ling at 10,250 knots for Canada 943. Okay, I have control.
So it's 11-3, 31st July 08. Localizer India Charlie Victor 1119 is the new runway. Final approach course 057 degrees. On the glide slope going by Savos at 1820. And down to an ILS minimum of 738 feet on the barometric altimeter. Call me 100 above and minimums. I'll respond land or go around flaps. In event of a go around, climb to 1100 on a track of 057. Right climbing turn, heading 090. Intercept the track 070 to the Oshawa NDB at 3100 feet. The high sector on that arrival is off the Toronto VOR, both quadrants to the east, 3,100 feet. Charted visibility for that arrival, 2,600 or 1/2 mile.
I'll call you 100 above minimums.
Thank you. Coupled approach, manual landing, config full. We're going to use low auto brake. Exit strategy on that runway. Let's say Delta 3. If I miss Delta 3, we'll take it to Delta 5. We'll hold short of 6 left until we're cleared across by the tower, and then we can contact ground for a taxi routing.
Okay, sounds perfect. The same stays. We'll make sure we hold short unless we're cleared across. If he does clear us across immediately, I'll allow you to, you just maintain control till you get it straight, and then we're not turning. I'll take control then, and we'll follow ATC ground instructions.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Canada 943, turn left direct set low, descend 6,000.
Direct set low, cleared 6,000, or Canada 943. Can I give you direct set low?
Direct set low, please.
There you go.
We are nav to set low. Speed descent 6,000 set.
Roger, 6,000.
Thrust idle.
Toronto arrival, Air Canada 881 heavy at 10:250.
Canada 881 heavy, runway 6 right, altimeter 2978, information Lima.
A little heavier precip there now.
6 right, 8,000, we have Lima, Air Canada 881.
Still liquid rain.
Canada 455, descend 9,000, then speed 210.
9,000, then speed 210, Air Canada 455.
Canada 943, descend to 3,000. Would you like to close the approach?
Sure.
Clear 3,000 feet, absolutely. We'd like to close it up, Air Canada 943.
943, roger, by a set low Lobco, cleared ILS 6 right.
Cleared the ILS 6 right by a set low Lobco for Air Canada 943.
Set low Lobco.
Thanks, Peter.
There you go.
Thanks very
Nice.
much. There, it's all closed up for you.
Roger.
Canada 9, correction, Air Canada 881,
Flap
turn
one.
left direct set low,
Speed
descend
check.
6,000.
Direct set low, 6,000, 881.
Okay.
No change in status, clear?
Clear.
Lap 1, 180 selected.
Roger. Flap 2.
Speed check.
Canada 455, descend 6,000.
Down to 6,000, Air Canada 455.
Canada 881, descend 3,000.
1900 at
3,000,
Savos if you
81.
need it to continue descent around the corner. Do you want me to set it?
Sure, that'd be good, thanks.
And you are cleared the approach as well.
Roger. I'll let it come around the corner here.
Absolutely.
Cat 3 dual autopilot 1 and 2.
Roger.
Loc star, glide slope star, speed mode. If we have to go, we're going out to Oshawa 3100.
Roger.
Glide slope.
Canada 943, 8 from touchdown, speed is your discretion, contact tower at Savos 1835.
Speed our discretion over to tower 1835 at Savos for Air Canada 943.
Gear down, landing checklist. We're taking an 18 knot push here.
Yeah.
Loc.
Canada 455, descend 4,000, then speed 190,
Flap
follow
3.
company 67, caution
Speed check,
turbulence.
altimeter 2979 inches, gear and spoiler.
We got lever down, 3 green.
Flat 3 and 170 selected.
Canada 881, base leg in about 2 miles if you're ready.
Spoilers aren't.
16 knots,
Flaps
clear
full.
takeoff runway 6 left.
Speed check.
Clear takeoff, 6 left, Air Canada 100.
Flat full VF 121 auto thrust.
Speed.
Landing memo no blue.
Roger.
Tower Canada 943, Sables.
Canada 943, Toronto Tower, wind 100 at 9, gust 15 knots, cleared to land runway 6 right.
Cleared to land runway 6 right here, Canada 943.
Cleared to land. Sparky's working hard to stay on that glide slope. The wind's come around though.
It has.
And we were Sables inbound. The mist was set for 3100.
Roger. Sables 1910, missed approach 3100 feet set.
Thank you. Land green.
Wind check 100 at 10, gust 15 knots.
For 100 above.
Roger.
Minimums, runway in sight.
Landing. Autopilot's coming off. Cat 1.
100. 50. 30. Retard. 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 Retard.
Reverse screen.
Idle reverse. Manual brake.
Roger. 70 knots.
Canada 943, Delta 1, cross runway 06 left.
Delta 1 across 6 left there, Canada 943.
Delta 1 cleared across.
Roger. That's excellent, Peter. I have control.
You have control.
Canada 943, apron 2207.
2207, Air Canada 943. Apron, good afternoon, Air Canada 943, coming in Delta, Quebec, we're going to 178.
Air Canada 943, good afternoon, Delta, Quebec, to gate 178.
In the gate 178, Air Canada 943.
Is there a question for 6 for us?
7943, okay, hold there, so I don't send you somewhere else, and I'll get back to you.
Okay, we'll hold there, Jazz, 7943.
All the equipment's outside the lines on this side, Jeff.
Thank you.
He's going to lead you all the way in.
That's the conclusion of Air Canada Flight 943, the return trip from Bermuda. Some things are bittersweet for the people going to Bermuda. It's a happy day for the people coming home. It's a sad, wet day. Peter, great flying with you.
Thanks. Good working with you, Jeff. Well, just thanks for flying with Air Canada. It's our pleasure to take you down to the Caribbean and back again. It's a great day working with Jeff. Thanks.